Good morning, good morning, good morning, gentlemen. It's Coach Chuck here, strength and conditioning coach. Uh, just tuning in or just coming to you to roll out the next 5 weeks of our workout program that we're going to be doing. We're going to make a couple of switches or a couple changes to what we've been doing. And so instead of going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we're shortening that to 3 days because then we'll have 2 days of practice. So Mondays, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, same time. We're going to be meeting at what was it, 3:15 to 4:45, or whenever you get the workout done. We're going to do that for 5 weeks. We're going to start with some weights this time, right? We're going to mix some body weight movements with some weighted movements. We're going to do some unilateral, some contralateral. We're going to do some ipsilateral. I mean, we're going to mix it up. Just broadening your movement IQ is what we're doing so that we can get closer and closer to just going full weights. Okay, so today's video is just to roll out the first week of training or of working out, right? And what we do is we figure out what the workout's going to be, and then we work that for a week. And then after that week is over, we will change it or progress that workout to something more. And we do that each 5 weeks. And then after the 5 weeks is over, I think we'll take another week break, or we will do a download week if we're not taking a break from practice, and we will move from there. So let's just get started. So the way that the structure is going to be the same. First 15 minutes, we're going to be trying to warm up, movement prep. And then the main piece of the workout will take about 60 minutes, maybe a little less than that, depending on how strong and how fast you work. And the last 15 minutes is like a recovery or cool down. Week one, the movement integration and load accumulation. The goal here is to introduce light external loads and build motor control under resistance, right? So the first movement in the workout is going to be, or for the warm-up, is going to be 100 jumping jacks. And you guys have done the jumping jacks before, right? So all our jumping jacks start with the feet close together, hands are to the side. I am going to jump out. I'm going to try to keep my arms straight, touch my hands above my head, and then here, right? And if you can see, I'm using my natural shock absorbers, knees, hips, and ankles to absorb the impact, right? So we want soft feet with that. Now, if you are an injured athlete and jumping is not going to be something that you can do, we can modify that or regress it by stepping side to side. But you want to do it with a little bit of vigor, okay? You're going to need 100 of those to start the warm-up. Then we're going to move to what's called the walkout push-up. And it is walkout push-ups 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you were over at Humboldt, you've done this. But if you're at Harding, you probably haven't done this. So I'm going to go ahead and demonstrate that. So the walkout push-up, I'm going to start in kind of this sumo stance with feet apart, but feet pointed straight ahead. I'm going to fold myself in half at the hips, right? And I'm going to reach through and try to stretch. Now, as I'm stretching, my upper body's getting closer to the ground. So I'm going to walk my hands flat out to the top of the push-up position. And then I'm going to rock out 5 push-ups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I got to walk back, stretch again, and now I'm going to walk out again, and then I need 4 push-ups. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then I'm going to walk back again and stretch that out. Now, we're going to go all the way to 1 with that. So that's the walkout push-ups. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, then we get into what's called the world's greatest stretch. And the world's greatest stretch, basically, I'm going to balance on one leg. I'm going to balance on my left leg. I'm going to lift my right leg. I'm going to grab my shin or tib fib, right? I don't want to be grabbing the foot or the knee. And I'm going to pull that chest or that knee up as high as I can. I'm gonna try to get this knee above my shoulder, right? Which is gonna require me to really push my hip forward. So from here balancing, I'm gonna pull that knee up and push that hip forward. Now, the leg I was stretching or pulling up, that goes back. That goes back into like this wide lunge. Then right hand on the ground, preferably in line with the left toe. Keep that back knee straight. I'm going to take my left elbow, deep breath in, and as I breathe out, I go down. Then I reach up, keeping that back leg straight. And then when I come down with this left hand, it's going to be on the other side of my left foot. I'm going to take that back leg, drag it up some, take my front leg, get it straight. Both legs are straight. I'm tucking the chin, right? Get that little stretch. And then I come forward. And then I could do the other side. So I'm going to just run through that real quick. So I'm going to grab my tib fib or my shin, right? Lift that knee up as high as I can, pushing the hips forward. Take that leg back. Line up the fingers with the toe. Elbow goes down. I breathe out. I reach up. This right hand comes to the other side of the foot. So I got two hands flanking this foot. I'm going to drag this foot forward. And then I'm going to push this knee straight as I tuck the chin. And then step forward. So I just go keep alternating between the two of those. We need 5 per side. World's greatest stretch. Next is going to be a counterbalance plate squat. So you're going to notice over at Humboldt, there is a set of dumbbells, a run of dumbbells, I should say, from 5 pounds all the way up to, I think, 80 pounds. The problem of that is they just have pairs. And so if we have a big group, we can't all use the dumbbells. So what I'm going to propose is that we use some of the disc or the bumper plates. Some of the schools have the bumper plates. Some of them just have the plates like this that could be 10 pounds, like this one's 10 pounds, but it's the diameter of like a 45 pounder, right? We're going to use a lot of these because there's more of these than there are dumbbells. So the next movement is what's going to be a counterbalance plate squat. And what that is I'm going to get into my squat stance. I'm going to position this plate at my chest, okay? Go ahead and organize the spine. So you remember first 5 weeks, organizing of your spine, meaning that I'm going to engage the glutes and I'm going to draw that belly button in towards my spine and then stay tight throughout the whole movement in a manner in which I can breathe, okay? So here, counterbalance squat. Now, what I'm going to do is do a squat, but as I go down, I'm going to push this plate out in front of me, keeping my arms parallel to the ground. So I'm breathing out and then breathe in. 1, 2, 3. And it's like a second pause at the bottom. So 1 second pause, right? Now, the reason for this weight is if I push this weight out, it's going to help counterbalance me so that I can keep my chest up. A lot of times people are squatting like this and dropping the chest. This is kind of instant feedback. Am I keeping that chest up and counterbalancing with it? So just to give you another angle, counterbalance squats, right? Remember when I drop into that squat too, knees are wide. Okay, so with those, we need 15. And when we start with a lightweight, because you're going to see some of these counterbalance squats in the main workout as well. So start with a lightweight because we're still in the warm-up piece of it. Just to cue the muscles, to let them know it's time to actually grab some weight. You don't always just walk into the gym and grab the heaviest weight. Grab lighter weight and move through some of the movements. All right, so next, we got an overhead plate march. So I'm going to grab my plate again. This one you could probably go a little heavier, right? So I'm going to go with a 15. Same diameter, but 15 pounds. Now, I'm going to press this above my head as high as I can. Let me adjust this screen just a little bit. Okay. That was too much head space right there. All right. So I'm going to take this plate and press it over my head. Now, I'm not out here with it. I'm here. And I'm not here with my rib cage opened up. I'm going to collapse that rib cage. I'm trying to create a straight line from my hands to the middle of my foot. Once I achieve that, then I'm going to get into my marching. So I have to balance on one leg, bring that knee up to hip height or higher, and then place it back down. Raise the other one up, same tempo, knee or higher, place it back down. Right? And all I'm trying to do is work the muscles that it takes to be completely engaged but balancing on one leg. Now, what do your hips have to do? What do your back have to do? You might notice that when you lift one leg, it's easier for you to drive through, but you lift the other leg and you might lose some connection. This one is to make the invisible visible, right? All right, so we need 30 of those. And once you run through that, right, your 100 jumping jacks, your walkout push-ups, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, your world's greatest stretch, your counterbalance plate squats, and your overhead plate march, that's the warm-up. And that should take roughly about 15 minutes, maybe a little longer the first day or so as we go through it and just kind of figure out the logistics of it. But once that's done, then we move into the main workout. And the main workout is a series of, let's see here. So we got six movements to go over. We're gonna, of those 6 movements, we're gonna run through it four rounds, right? So we're gonna do 6 movements, take a small rest, 6 movements. Or actually what we would do is we would do the first 2 rounds, take a break, water break, and then come back through the last 2 rounds. Trying to get it to where we can go through the whole 4 rounds without taking a break and resting during the recovery or after the workout is over. So first movement is going to be a goblet squat. Now, what a goblet squat is we can do this with a dumbbell or a plate, right? So if you have a plate, like I said, if the dumbbells are limited, then we're going to grab our plate like so, and we're going to do our goblet squats like this. Now, what I want you to do is if you're grabbing that plate, is I need you to keep those elbows up. You can cross over, keep those elbows up. So this is our goblet squat, right? Now, notice my knees are bending, but they're not going that far forward. I'm really shooting those hips back, trying to stay balanced, trying to keep those hips up. Now, that is your goblet squat with a plate. Your goblet squat with a dumbbell is going to look like this. I'm going to grab the dumbbell like so. I'm going to get into my squat stance, right? I'm going to drop straight down, keeping those elbows up, knees are wide, and then I'm going to engage the glutes at the top. Side view of that. This weight is here. I'm going to keep it high. Keep those elbows high, right? I'm not going to be falling over. Keep those elbows high. Drive through the heels. Squeeze the butt at the top. That is your goblet squat. We can do that with your plate or your dumbbell, depending on what we got. It's easier with the dumbbell. If we have limited dumbbells, grab a plate. All right, next we have alternating reverse lunge with a twist. Again, that is something I can do with my plate. Let me demonstrate that. I'm going to grab this plate. I'm going to stick it away from my body a little bit. I'm going to do a reverse lunge. Now, I'm going to reverse lunge, stepping back with that right leg. But I'm going to twist here to the left. And as I step forward, I'm going to bring it forward. So, alternating lunge with the twist. The straighter your arms are, the more difficult this is, or the further it is away from your body. Here, It's going to be easier. Maybe I'll do my first set where when it's close, and then my second set, just gradually work my way out. Now that's with a plate. I'll show you. I can use a dumbbell. Same thing. So that dumbbell is here. I step back. I find my balance, my stability. I'm weighted out here, bringing it forward. Bringing it forward, okay? So that is alternating reverse lunge with a twist, done with a dumbbell or a plate. Moving right along. Next, we have ground to overhead plate press. So what a ground to overhead plate press is, let me grab a plate. This one's full body. So I'm grabbing a big one, the 45-pounder. Now, I'm going to get into my squat stance, right? This is at my chest. I'm going to point it down. Knees wide. I drop into my squat. My chest is up. I'm going to come out of that squat here, here. Each time I come back to the chest, I press it up and lock out, right? So let me give you a side view of that. Wide stance. Starting here, drop the plate, chest up, lock out. Lock out. Okay. Now that one has to be done with the plate. I mean, you could do it with the dumbbell. You could do it with the dumbbell. Let's see what that looks like. All right. I'm in my squat stance. I got my dumbbell here up in my chest. I can drop with knees wide, keeping that chest up, bringing it here. Yeah, we can do that with a dumbbell as well. Okay. We need, what do we need? We need 10 of those. 10 of those. Now, number 4, body rolls or horizontal roll. So, I'm not sure, I can't remember what the setup is at Harding, but the setup at Humboldt is we got 1, 2, 3, 4, I think we got 8 squat racks. And with those squat racks, we can set up the bar like so. And once the bar is set up like that, I can sit down on the ground, reach up, lift the hips up. As I breathe out, I do a pull-up, pulling my body to the bar. I want that bar to hit me just below the chest and then back down. That is a body roll. You want this kind of tempo, right? Now, the modification of that is a pull-up, So your pull-up, and actually, I'm just going to do it right there. Pull up, I have to move my bar, obviously. It is a pull-up negative. So what pull-up negatives are is I find a platform that I can stand on. Whoa, I can stand on and get to my pull-up position. Then I lift up my weights and then I do negatives as slow as I can, lowering myself to the ground until my arms are completely straight. Then I get back and I do that again. Now, you can do either the horizontal roll or, let me see that horizontal. So you can do the horizontal roll. And if you do the horizontal roll, we're going to make that to where you do 20 of those. If you decide to do the pull-up negatives, then we're going to do 10 of those, and it's going to take you 5 seconds to get to the bottom. So you want to start in that pull-up position, 5 seconds to get to the bottom. Now, on your second one, I want you to do reverse grip, 5 seconds to the bottom, 10 of them. or you're just doing 20 of those horizontal rows, alternating your grip. So first one, palms down, second one, palms here, right, till you get done. All right, so now moving on to, let me see here, to number 5, single leg plank. This one's easy. Single leg plank. It's easy to say, but it is hard to do. So let me reposition you here. Okay, single leg plank. It is exactly what it sounds like. So I'm going to get down on the ground, get on my low plank. I'm going to flex the foot, lift it, press it to the side. That is my single leg plank. Show you this way. That is the single leg plank. Engage the glutes, drop the hips, dome up the back, flex the foot, and it's off to the side. Now we're going to do 30 seconds per leg. 30 seconds per leg. And then last is a renegade row. Now the renegade row is done with dumbbells. So you need dumbbells to do that. However, let me just demonstrate the renegade row first. Renegade row, I'm in a high plank, like this. Feet are wide. I'm going to push through one weight as I lift the opposite weight. And I'm going to try not to be shifting my body, right? I'm going to try to keep my body square. Okay, we need 16 of those. Now, because we have limited dumbbells, you could do 8. And then switch and do 8. Make sense? All right. That is the workout. We will go through 4 rounds of that. And when we're done with that, our cool down is shin to wall, wall pigeon, windshield wiper stretch. So, shin to wall. Shin to wall. So, you need a wall. I'm going to use my jump boxes here. And I also like to use a pad. I take that pad here from my knee and that pad there, right, from my shin, and then I just get on all fours. I'm going to start with my right leg. So I'm going to take start with my left leg. So I'm going to take my left knee and put it in the corner with the foot straight up. Now, take my right, and we're going to go there. Now, if I'm feeling a stretch here, I'm just going to hang out here. But if I want to get up here, right? Sternum, pelvis, bring them together, pushing the low back into the wall, hands up. Stretching out your hip flexor, getting into true extension. So let me just show you other side real quick. So knee in the corner, foot to the side, right? I might have to rest it here, but if I can, I'm going to get here. You can already see how my back is trying to arch and not stretch. So when I take the sternum and pelvis, bring them together, push that back into the wall, hands up. All right, so we need, what are we doing on that? We're going to do 2 minutes per leg on that. Now let's go 90 seconds per leg on that one. Then we need what's called walled pigeon. Same thing, except I'm going to get these out of the way. With your walled pigeon, you're going to lie down on your back, getting your hip really close to the wall, or not that close, shouldn't be touching, but you're going to get it close. Then I'm going to swing over with my feet flat on the wall like this. Back's on the ground, feet are flat on the wall. I'm going to drive through the heels, cross one leg over the other, and then push those heels down. and I'm just gonna relax. Now, I want to be pushing this knee away from me, but when I do that, this hip kicks out. So I want to try to not kick this hip out and just apply a little pressure on this knee. And this should stretch all of this, right? And you might find some imbalances with that. That's okay. So again, 90 seconds on your wall pigeon. Last but not least is going to be what's called the windshield wiper stretch. So what that is, I'm going to show you from this back side, right? Legs are straight up in the air. I'm bracing myself by pushing into the ground. Now, I'm going to drop my legs. I'm going to keep them together, but I'm going to drop them to the left. And that's going to try to peel my right shoulder off. And I'm going to try to keep that shoulder on the ground. Now, when I'm coming to the left, I don't want my feet traveling away from my hand. I want my feet to stay where they're at. And I'm going to get flat. Now, you can see my right shoulder is off the ground a little bit. What I'm going to do is take a deep breath in. Breathe out. Now, when I breathe out, I should flatten out some more. I'm going to hold this stretch for 90 seconds. Take a deep breath in, and as I breathe out, lift to this side. Once I'm set, I'm going to lower. Now my left shoulder's peeling off. Deep breath in, breathe out, melt to the ground. All right, once that 90 seconds is over, deep breath in as I breathe out, and then I'll be done. Okay, so that's our workout for the first 4 days, or I'm sorry, 3 days next week, starting on Monday. I will make another one of these maybe this weekend for the following week. So I'm gonna try to get ahead of it. I have the whole thing done, but I'm just kind of tweaking it and making some adjustments. So if you have any questions, coaches, reach out to me. If you have any questions, athletes, you can reach out as well on Huddle. Other than that, gentlemen, let's get after it. Let's do what we need to do to get strong. That's all I got. Have a good day, and I'm looking forward to Monday. Let's get busy.